Good evening, peeps, creeps, and fellow ghostings. It's your boy Joe, together with that guy over there, Kim. You don't know how distracting it has been trying to start this episode with a guy looking like that. You tell me, how are you going to do a podcast with a guy looking like that? Impossible.
I'm trying to change a little concept of our podcast, because all horror podcast is horror, right? Every podcast that you listen to about horror, they start like very, very dark, very calm, very...
Yeah, because it's horror.
Yeah, because it's horror. But why? But you can make it a bit fun and horror, right?
You've been hanging around too many of your friends. You know, the ones who tell really scary stories with a nice smile on their face.
Yeah, that's right.
Then, the ghost came and ripped her head off.
So, first do your introduction, Joe.
I don't know what. Look, I'm. One thing is that I have very poor recovery. But no, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Look, we would really love if you could subscribe, if you could share, and you could like. Maybe it.
Continue.
You already know I have ADHD, right? You know I get distracted very easily, and you have to bring a freaking crocodile's head into the screen. Thank you very much.
Okay.
But everyone, thank you so much. Fucking hell. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Cannot do
I've given
podcast
up.
with this guy.
You cannot. No. You try to be professional, and this is. I'm gonna call Shaz and complain. No, I'm not really gonna do that.
Okay, so thank you very much for joining us this evening. So for those who have yet to subscribe, remember to subscribe and push on the notification button, which is just down below. You can always unsubscribe after if you decided not to like us anymore. So this channel is actually the growth is actually quite healthy in a way.
It is. It has been.
The main portion actually doesn't come from Joe and myself. It actually comes from a lot from KK. Because KK put in a lot more hard work compared to the both of us just sit down and talk on it.
Yeah. KK is out there. He's like doing 4 or 5 shows, doing his research, doing transcript, trying to get his SEOs and everything right. Kim and I come home like this.
Play with crocodile.
the crocodile comes like it's just really screwed up.
Yeah. Okay.
Look, guys, we've I want to say we have about 420 subscribers at the moment. We want to hit the magic 500 mark, so please subscribe. There's a whole lot of you out there who are watching and are not subscribed. All it takes is just a click of the button, and it's done. We also want to say thank you to Lynn and Joseph Tay for buying us coffees. Woo! I'm gonna get the Korean love heart because that's what we do. Thank you so much for your faith in us, and thank you so much for your support. Even before we kind of go further, I want to read some of the kind of channel comments that have occurred over the past maybe 3 weeks, right? 3 weeks. This happened 2 hours ago, right? So it was posted by a guy called Fartan-V1Y. Do you want to guess what he said, Kim? He's probably aimed this at me.
He say, I don't like the bald man in the video.
Maybe not. He says, why must the bearded use the 4-letter word? Was it necessary? Question mark. Exclamation. Now, I don't know if this guy's my mother or my father who's used an account. I don't know. I prefer to think not. But, Fartan, look, Kim and I are... What you see is what you get. There's no two ways about it. And so we are always very natural. I want to say Kim has sworn many times as well. And he's even worse. He's going to tell dirty jokes. So I'm not that bad. But what you see is what you get. I don't want to change who I am for our community or for anyone watching. This is always going to be me. So I'm sorry if the 4-letter words upset you or, traumatize you. But... I don't think it's going to change. Kim, do you have anything to say for yourself?
Yeah, I'm going to stand with you saying that the person that you see on recording now is the actual person that you're going to see in real life. So if you have met us before, like some of the people that, they have met us in real life, that is the exact person that you're gonna get. You know, we use a lot of those 4-letter words, or sometimes 5-letter words, or sometimes it can be
9-letter words,
7-letter words, 9-letter words, a lot more lah. A lot more in our vocab. There's a lot more. But we don't mean to offend anybody. We are not cursing at anybody too. It's just a word that we use, like the word you and I. We use it as common as those words. That's pretty much it. And I hope I really hope that you don't take it seriously.
Personally,
it's not pointed at anybody. But yeah, we're gonna stick as who we are from the top until the day we die.
And I want to
probably
say
my last word before I die will fuck me.
I hope not. But really, I never used to swear until I met Kim. So
thanks for putting the blame on me.
Negative. Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Bro. We're not going to change.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
So move on with the comment.
We got another guy from B Polovic 9398, which was posted kind of like 6 days ago. He or she goes, I just found your channel last night and I'm looking forward to listening to some of these stories. However, undoubtedly you're already aware of the channel Lights Out, which produces personal quality content with similar themes to your own, only with a much higher production value. It is a very good show, although currently they have too many ads, which unfortunately is damaging the flow of the show, which took away some of the magic felt by the listener. Yeah, there is another Lights Out, and I think it's an American show. And again, what we do here is a little bit different. We have a very, very strong Asian flavor to our stories, not so much specifically concentrating on kind of Western stories as well. So yeah, look, we go out there and check out the other Lights Out channel. I think the more the merrier. The more stories, the better.
I agree. So is it a good thing or a bad thing though? I'm going to take it as a good thing lah, I'm going to take it as a good thing.
Because they probably have more subscribers than us. They probably have more
definitely.
exposures. So they'll be going, oh, no, I'm going to find Lights Out. Hey, who is these two guys? Actually, you know what? Like last year, I remember this guy had sent an email to us and goes, oh, I really like your show. And I can't believe that you guys are on here. And then I got an email letting, oh, sorry, it's the wrong show. It was meant for the other. Oh, fuck. Bastards.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
So, yeah.
We got 2 more comments, right?
Yeah, 2 more. Okay.
One was from Ken the Man 88. He goes, looking forward every single time you both tag team for the show. We love tag teaming. This must be a wrestling fan, because tag team is a very, very wrestling
WWE
comment,
thing.
Yeah. Another one by Me Love Mouses. Oh, I didn't know that Kim got married. You married? Oh, because you said wife last time. Shaz, take note. Congratulations, Kim and Shaz. He goes, there needs to be a book of Kim's inappropriate jokes. There would be nothing better than to turn a bad day around besides the show. I really wish you guys could make new episodes more frequently. We really try, but we're really busy. Yeah. Even if you can identify the type of bird call, that still doesn't mean that it's a bird making those sounds. So this is just a few kind of, I think 2 episodes ago. Yeah, about 2 episodes ago.
Ponti.
Was it 1? The Ponti.
Yeah.
So he sent someone else had kind of replied, and they sent the call of a barn owl. It doesn't really sound like that. I'm not kind of convinced. Anyway, I've lost. Okay, even if you can identify the type of bird call, that still doesn't mean that it's a bird making those sounds. From everything I've learned about Pontianats, they seem to be tricksters, sounding like they're nearby when they're far away, and sounding like they're far away when they're nearby. Smelling first like fragrant flowers, then later like a decaying corpse, sometimes appearing as a beautiful woman when their true form is horrifying, etc. So I wouldn't put it past them to imitate the sounds of wildlife as well. In fact, their fragrant perfume is an imitation of the scent of a real flower too, the frangipani. You know what I find funny? In Asia, everyone is scared of the frangipani. In Perth, we got like frangipani body wash, frangipani freaking soap. We just freaking love frangipani here, but for a different reason.
Okay. So I guess thank you for all the comments. good or bad, we read each and every one of those comments. And also, recently we got emails coming in to us as well, saying that they like the show, and then they were telling us they got stories waiting for us. Then again, Joy and myself, we have a very tight schedule, so really have to arrange time lah. So, but we try to as much as we wanna sit every week and record, and then because we genuinely had a great time every time we were recording, because it's fun, right? We get to talk to each other, and then after that, we get to see you guys, how do you guys respond and talk to later on in the chat. And I seriously genuinely felt it's a fun interaction. It's really like, it felt like a whole bunch of friends, family members sitting around telling ghost stories and talking nonsense lah kan?
Yeah.
But the thing is, just sometimes, it's just our time doesn't allow us lah. But nonetheless, thank you very much for all the comments, emails that you guys been sending.
We really
Appreciate it.
Bro, I know I said only to say 2 more, but I've got about 4 more to get through, because I think they're new people, so I'm not one of those new. Yeah. So I don't want to kind of miss it, okay? Papi Che has been listening for quite a while.
Yes.
He goes, I love listening to you guys talk. This was actually for KK Hank's podcast. And, but I think Papi Che listens to kind of all our stuff, so thank you so much. He goes, I love listening to you guys talk, or while I'm doing work or even playing games. Haha, something about background conversation that is quite soothing for me. And then Fish Out of Water says, I think that is KK. He goes, yes, I tried jogging, listening to us talk. It was a good accompanying track. And there's another guy by the name of Anan K 8480. Every night, my favorite thing is to listen to this channel. Woohoo! And then he goes, "This duo is one of the best. My favorite part was my favorite podcast to fall asleep."
Yeah, a good thing.
Okay,
I'm gonna take it as a good thing, lah. Good thing, lah.
Yeah, lah. You're falling asleep because you love the sound of Kim's and my voice and the stories, or they're so fucking boring. Who knows, right? Who knows? I don't know. That's it. But thank you guys so much for your support. We really love you. We really, really do. Now, Kim, I've got something for you tonight, all right? Now, my mother did a very short kind of like a video clip when we were involved in another channel quite some time ago, right?
Yeah.
But one thing, my mother, she started telling stories about what happened with her, I think it's her grandfather, which is my great-grandfather, and some of her own stories as well. Now, this was very, very earlier on in my podcasting career, if you want to call it career. And I remember cutting 2 more videos. It's a big... Hey, one day it might be. I would love to do this for a full-time job.
Let's
you know that, right?
Let's manifest that, huh? Let's manifest it.
It will happen. But I cut I think that original video was maybe about 7 or 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
I had originally cut a 2-parter of about 25 minutes altogether. So what I thought was that we could listen to that tonight.
Yeah.
And maybe some of these stories you haven't even listened to yet, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah. I'm sure.
But let's give it a go.
Yeah.
Because these are my family stories, and I really love that I have for forever gotten my mom on a camera. Yeah. And that for future generations, they're gonna know what my mom looks like, what she sounds like.
Yeah. And also,
I want to share this to everyone.
Yeah, it's actually, recalling back now, I actually don't quite remember a lot of stories that Auntie were telling on recording. So I think this is also a nice time to check it out again and then listen to the stories again.
Yeah.
But from that video, I actually remember one particular part very, very vividly. So I'm gonna talk about it later, lah. But are you gonna give us a bit of background what Auntie's gonna be telling us for the evening?
Well, mainly she's gonna be talking about my great grandfather, her father. My great grandfather, her grandfather, who used to be a Taoist. I wouldn't say Taoist priest or medium, but he was a medium. Okay. And I think he worshipped one of the war gods in Taoist. I think it's Guangdong. That's who I think it is, right?
Okay.
But as well as the hell gods, because my mom remembered these black statues in the middle, in the kind of foyer of the house. So she tells the
Okay.
stories about my great grandfather, as well as her personal accounts when she was working in telecoms in Singapore. And
Ah,
if I'm not wrong, there's also a story about her uncle and how he got scratched. So there's quite a few stories in there. I'll wait and see which one jumps out at you
yeah, okay. So
figuratively.
all of this happened in Singapore.
Singapore, all of this
Mainly in
happened in
Singapore. All
Singapore.
in Singapore.
Ma- Mainly in Singapore. I don't none of them not in everything's in Singapore.
Oh, okay, okay.
In telecoms, yeah. So it was in Pasir Panjang, which is
Okay.
a particular suburb of Singapore, as well as Yio Chu Kang, which is where my mom used to work in the telecoms building
Telecom.
there. I
Okay.
think that whole place is still there. But I think, look, no one tells it best than my mom. Let's go straight to it right now.
So, hi everyone. My name is Rosalind. I'm a Peranakan Chinese from Singapore. My dad is Hokkien and my mom is Peranakan. And until I'm 7 years old, we lived together with our maternal grandmother. I remembered vividly that living with her, that times we have good times as well as frightening times. As young girls, my sisters and I, we used to play in the veranda. But after dark, when we have to go back to our room, we have to pass the middle hall, they called it. And the middle hall, there were three big deity, Chinese deity. And they are human size, very humongous for when we were young. It looked so terrible and dark. So we used, my sisters and I, we used to crawl and walk as far and crawl as fast as we can back to the kitchen, to the bedroom and the kitchen area. One is the middle one. I remember is a big Buddha statue, and the one on the right is a big statue, and it's dark black in color, of a man carrying a sword and with flags behind his back. And then the other one, I'm not sure, if I'm not wrong, is a Kuan Im, but it's a black one as well. So it's the whole hall looks so dark and very frightening when we were young. And until now, whenever my sisters and I talk, we talk about how it is so frightening living there. And at the same time, we used to have good fun living there with our cousins who lived in one of the 3 rooms that my grandfather in the early 1940s used to use it as his room where he does his black magic. You see, my grandfather's name is Professor Lee Bachit. He died in the early 41, after my eldest brother's birth. We know that he was a very helpful man, but again, dealing with black magic, I do not know what you call it. But through his black magic, he helped a lot of people. And I specifically remember he helping those escorts from getting clients. Like he'll do the, I do not know what, the yellow cloth where you put the red stamp on it, and he asked them he'll say some prayers with it, and then he will ask them to burn it and drink it. And in that way, they can get clients for themselves, which is, I think now, being a Catholic, that is not right. But those days, being a Taoist and a young girl, you think it's just a way of life, you see? And so my grandfather used to keep a skull in one downstairs.
What did you use the name for it?
Tengkorak, we call it. That means a human skull. And he used to feed it with chicken blood, the blood from the chicken. So every night he will feed this skull with some, and it's a very dark room. It's completely dark. And but later on, another family, after my grandfather passed away, another family lived there inside that room, and it's a Malay couple. And they had some experiences as well after that, because I remember this auntie that we called. She says that she used to see the kerosene lamp moving about, And another instance also, one of her parrots passed away. The parrot was fine, but next morning, or in the middle of the night, they heard this little bird screaming like for help and all that. And next morning, found that bird dead. And I think it's also due to these spirits. And I remembered this room is just next to our kitchen in Pasir Panjang where we live. And the kitchen is a very big kitchen, but it's very dark. So, and next to the kitchen is the toilet. So when Mom wants to ease herself at night, Mom used to go downstairs from our house upstairs, and she used to tell me that whenever she passed that room, she would see a lady standing at the foot of the big clay pot where they put water in, and a lady without any legs, only the body of the lady smiling at her. That's what my mom used to tell me. We used to have guava tree called the jambu aye, the bell guava, and this is near the front of our house. By 9 o'clock, we are not supposed to be at the veranda, we have to be asleep, and my uncle used to tell us that don't anybody stand near the veranda, because around 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, it's not nice to be there. He did not tell us why. But one day, we found him sleeping there and a bare body, and he was showing us scratch marks, the back of his body. And he says, now you know why I didn't want you people to be at the veranda at night, because there's one woman that's always at the tree, at this jambu tree in the middle of the night. And he used to take the water to throw water at a woman so that she will fly off.
So you see this woman every night?
Many nights, yes.
Many nights.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, we call it the kakak. And there are trees around our house, big trees and all that. There are times when I remember my mom saying that she used to see one man climbing the tree, or standing in the tree facing our bedroom. And ever since then, whenever I pass that window, I will always crawl down or stood down so that I do not have to see the tree. Yes. So that's in Pasir Panjang, Jalan Bangau. Yes. It's now, I think, a warehouse or something like that. My dad used to say that my grandfather was born with the spirit of a white crocodile. And he was saying that, and my dad says that before Grandpa passed away, they saw a white crocodile coming up from the sea behind our house, because our house is just behind the sea. And the crocodile will come out and be seen there, and then he went in, and that was the night my grandfather passed away. He's quite well known. He has also been to the jungles in Malaysia, and where he gets all this tangkal. He did get one talisman for my father, which my father used until he became a Catholic in the 80s. And that's when he dispersed of and get rid of it. And that talisman, my grandfather used to tell my dad, never take it out. It was given to him by one of the bomus or something like that in the Malaysian jungle. And it's from the white tiger or some tiger skin. And it's got some very powerful and will protect my dad from any harm. So that's what happened. So Grandpa used to have it with him until he became a Catholic, when we decided that this is not for us. And we leave everything in God's hand, in Jesus' hand.
Did he give the amulet away? Or?
If I'm not wrong, no. I think he burnt it. He burnt it, and the ashes were just thrown into the sea. Yeah.
Okay. Can you recall much of the stuff that great-grandpa did, like how he used to call the spirit into his body, and also about the sun?
Oh yes, now that you mention it, yes, my grandfather can stare into the sun for hours. I do not know what they call it. There's a name for it, where the person can stare into the sun for hours, at least 12 hours or so, without moving. And Grandpa was known for that. That's why he was given the name Professor, because this is one of the things that he did.
So one of his accomplishments.
Yes, accomplishment, yes. My mom gave birth to me at home in Pasir Panjang. And prior to that, Dad has a dream that I will be born the next day. And true enough, that night they heard a roar of a tiger, a white tiger. So they believe that I'm a spirit of a white tiger because I was born in the year of the tiger. And this is what they believe. When he passed away, he passed some of his knowledge actually to his nephew, who he adopted as his son, his own nephew. And this uncle did a lot of my granddad's work. But at the same time, he also gave my mom some of the things that he learned from this occult, I should say. And Mom was practicing that for a while, even after we left Pasir Panjang to our new home. And she was practicing that, and we young girls, our sisters, we have to help Mom by doing the paperwork, where you got to stamp the red thing onto the white yellow paper and all that, and cut it off. And then Mom used to give it and say some prayers and give it to my auntie, who's like a carrier or somebody who would help and give it to some of the call girls, escorts and call girls, and help them. But after sometimes, my dad put a stop to it and says, okay, enough is enough. I do not want you to practice this kind of thing. And Mom gave it up. And also, she became a Catholic in 1980 before she passed away. My eldest brother was born with a veil. And my eldest brother has got this ability to see things that we can't see. And yes, unfortunately, he has got the gift. My brother was a bit naughty, and he used to use the Ouija board, and we used to play with it, not knowing that it's so hideous as all that. And after that, not good things happen in the home. My brother used to see a lot of things at night, unfortunately, and it's quite a difficult thing for him to do because he was in the army and he used to see things whenever he goes anywhere and nobody believes him. When my grandmother passed away, and we had the Chinese altar in the house for 100 days after my grandmother passed away, and he used to see things that's not so nice. Once he saw my grandmother sitting there looking at us, and then in the coffin as well. Once when we were praying near the coffin, you could see my grandmother's leg underneath the coffin. Yes. The Ouija board, it's not a good thing, so I advise people don't touch it at all. Don't even try, because it brings a lot of unhappiness to the person who is doing it.
And when we're back, so you know what my mom said last time? The last thing that my mom says, don't play with the Ouija board. Ouija board, because it's a bad thing. It's really evil. What does the sun do? A long time ago.
Alone
so
in the room.
First, by himself, right? And all the lore about the Ouija board says that you shouldn't be playing that by yourself. And I went, look, what can go wrong?
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about what Auntie say. First thing I want to point out is I don't think that is a Quan Kong statue, because Quan Kong is not holding a sword. Yeah, Quan Kong is holding a...
He's holding the like a halberd.
Yeah, Quan Tao. So that is not a sword. So that is not a Quan Kong's deity. So that must be a deity of something else. But the Buddha is there, Kuan Yin is there.
Yeah.
Actually, I wanted to ask, if let's say you are practicing, you are practicing black magic, but at the same time, you use that black magic to help people. So is it good or is it bad?
That's it depends. Like I know it's a very difficult thing, right? But what is your definition of black magic? We have to define it first, right? Like, what do you define it as? What is black magic?
Black magic is when you seek help. Oh, when you seek help from other celestial being other than God, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think therein lies the whole religious aspect of the paranormal and supernatural, right? As a Catholic, you would say, and you know, even as a Muslim, you would say, "Hey, that's evil. You shouldn't be doing that." But then, if you look at some of the other religions that are out there, it may not necessarily be conceived of as black magic,
It's just another practice.
right? It's just another practice. It's a practice when they seek assistance and advice and help from a spiritual being that is other than God. And even then, their conception of God is going to be very different from a purely monotheistic, kind of like a religion. So, look, for me, right? I remember someone once saying this, that all black magic begins in the human heart. Do you like that? All black magic begins in the human heart. I think that in its essence, black magic is when there is practices done but for an evil or not so good outcome. But I can also hear other people, especially my dad, going, what happens if then you use the services of, say, a very negative entity or demon? Then that's wrong as well, right? Even though it has a potentially positive outcome. I don't know. I've never seen black magic done, but I think look, I'll put my foot down, right? I'd say the blackest magic is not one that is done with demons. It is done with anger and hate in the human heart. I think that's the blackest of all magics. Because you think about it, right? If you want to hurt someone, or you mean harm to someone, if you didn't go and approach spirit XYZ, none of that would have happened, right?
Yeah.
All happens is in the human heart when someone goes, I hate that person, I don't like that person, I mean that person harm. That to me translates as the beginning of really dark magic.
Okay. Let's come back a little bit.
How?
I get I like I say I wanted to ask is because sometimes, I mean, of course, this is a question that probably only God would be able to give you an answer at the end of the day, right? Because whatever you do, a lot of religion believe that whatever you do and whatever action that you did during your lifetime, at the end of the day, only God is going to judge you, right? If let's say you're in this situation, like your great-grandfather, probably the thing that he did, probably to some people think that is wrong. But the thing that he wanted to do is because this is the only thing that I know that I can do to make money to support my family, right?
Yeah.
So the intention that gets him to do all this thing is actually not of greed, not of evil, not of anger or hate, but then after that, when he set out to do this, and apparently all the clients become escorts and call girls, can he stop it? No, it's because probably only these people, it works. I mean, you don't expect a Catholic priest to show up at your great-grandfather's house and I think I need help,
No.
Sifu. Right?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So
Put
then
the
again,
diamond inside my forehead here.
so okay, then move past that. I find it actually quite interesting because I remember this one particular story, which I think I've told it before in a previous episode, but I don't remember whether it's this channel or another channel. But it was your mom was talking about the brother has a gift to be able to see things, right? And then when the grandmother passed away, he actually saw grandmother sitting there. Then after that, when they were
That's right.
praying, grandmother's leg were underneath the coffin. Yeah, so I remember this. I remember this particular story. Like I say, I don't remember whether I've told it before here or other channel, but I'm going to tell it again. Because I remember there's this one time. I also have a cousin who be able to see all these things as well. But she's such a she's not the bullshit kind of people lah. You know, the bullshit kind of people is like Joe and myself lah. Huh? We are bullshit kind of people. So when we tell you stuff, maybe you can only
Take it with a grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt.
yeah. With a spoonful of salt on a bed. So she's not that kind of person, no. So she most of the time she's serious, you know. She holds a very high position in government departments. So not you know, no bullshit kind of person, right? So I also never heard she tell us stories about being able to see things that are around. It's just that the parents know and then some of us know. But that time I didn't know. So it was my grandfather's funeral, right? So I was sitting next to her and then we were saying prayers, right? So all of my grandfather's children is already back, except for this one particular nephew, which is uncle. The uncle is a nephew lah, but because the nephew grew up with my grandparents, so he somehow is like what your mom was telling, like, you know, back in those days, a lot of old people were like, oh, my nephew, my nieces, but they are always at the house. Eventually, they become sons and daughters, right?
Yes.
So same thing happens to this uncle as well. So he grew up with my grandparents, so he is more like a son than a nephew. So he is the last one that came back because he is not from Sarawak, so he did not stay in Sarawak. So then after that, when he came back, so he just stood by the coffin and then he just looked inside, like just like, you know, his last respect to my grandfather. So then after that, when that was done, then he moved to the kitchen where my grandmother was at that time, right? The moment my uncle walked away from the coffin, my cousin, which is next to me, calm, quiet, and was saying prayer, started screaming and crying. You know, imagine. Back then, I was like, how old am I? I think I'm 13. 13.
Oh, this is a long time ago.
Long time ago. So obviously, but you are a kid, and then but you know things are happening already, right? You have a good grasp of what is happening. So she started screaming on top of the lung, and then she started crying, and then she started running to the bedroom, right? I was like, do I continue or what should I do now? But this cousin,
Kim's excited. Kim's like, that's what happened next.
Must be some story. This one. So this cousin went into the bedroom. Her brother, which is a younger brother, followed her to the bedroom. Right. So that was that. And until a couple of hours later, when everything was, you know, quieter, visitors have left the house, then she actually started to tell us the story. What happened was, right after my uncle have a last look at my grandfather and walked to the back, she saw my grandfather sit up from the coffin. So he's like lying in the coffin, right? So she says she saw my grandfather sit up, but that is not the time that she actually screamed and started crying. She said she saw my grandfather got off from the coffin and walked to the main door, and he actually looked back as if, you know, now I am really gonna go. And then he disappeared. That is when she screamed.
Lost it.
Yeah, I in a way that she although she did not tell her feeling, is actually, I felt like it's not really about she was frightened to see my grandfather, but she was like, you know, now grandfather is really gone, you know, because, you know, now he is going to the next place, to the next station, you know, so probably that. So yeah, I find it quite, you know, things that people see during funeral. So yeah, if I have the
like, sorry, keep going.
If I have a third gift, if I have the third eye gift like that, I don't know whether I'll be visiting a lot of funeral or not.
No, I think better stay at home, play games on your computer, bro. Don't know to go.
better be safe than sorry lah. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny enough, like that grandmother that kind of passed away, I'm pretty sure it is. My mom was already married to my father by that time, and my father had a weird experience in that house as well. On that night, no one else would sleep on my grandmother's bed, on my mom's grandma's bed, right? Because it was there. Because obviously she passed away and everyone had the superstition you can't sleep on a dead person's bed. My father had nowhere else to go, so my dad says, I don't care, I'll sleep in the bed. So he went to sleep in the bed, right? It's just at night he felt someone sit down on the bed.
Oh, really?
Next to him. Yeah. And then my dad, I think in his mind he just said, look, he figured out it was probably my great grandmother, right? And he says, look, I'm already married to your granddaughter. I'm just here to come and pay my respects. I want to have a sleep. I mean no disrespect to you. And he says that after a while he felt the bed go up and it disappeared.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Happened
Okay.
to my mom as well. To my dad, yeah.
Go back a bit, huh? Go back a bit. Talking about third eye, so we actually have something quite excited to tell you, huh? Although this time around, this year, we are not directly involved in the event What About Kuching, which we actually had a couple of years ago. We actually had an exhibition, we had an event. Even in recent years when it's just Joe and myself, Joe came down and we actually had an event in conjunction with some Halloween party. So we actually sat down.
It was really successful, really good too.
Yeah, tell stories. And we did not expect that kind of turnout. Everything was great, was well, except it was a bit hot, huh? So we we wanted to share with you that WAK has reached out to us and actually tell us like, hey, can you guys do this shout out for us since it's in your universe. So for those listening in, if you guys are in Kuching, all right, or for those who are not in Kuching but you decided to want to come to Kuching, on the 18th of October, which is on the Friday, there is an event called Gifted with the Third Eye. So at 7 p.m. at the Lime Tree Hotel, this person, I think it's a lady, is going to tell all sorts of stories of her own because she has that particular gift. So she has the third eye, and she's going to appear in that event, and then she's going to tell us stories about what she see, things that she experienced. And
Do you know her?
No, actually no. I do not know. I was WK reached out to us and say, we also got tickets for you guys if you guys are free to come down. Yeah, I think I might not be able to, but I will try to see an arranged time and see whether I can get her to tell us more stories that apart from the stories that she tell on the event.
Yeah.
So
You know what? The last time, please, I'll make sure that flashes up and that they will be given a link so that they can go and click on it and see what it's all about. But I also remember the last time that we were in Kuching. Well, I was in Kuching for work with you guys. There were a couple of really scary stories told in that round circle that we all did.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the person who has agreed to say, like, he was interested in telling us the story right on camera, but he's been very busy. So it's one of those things where we're just continuously trying to chase stuff up. But if we can get that guy's story, oh man, that is a cray story.
Yeah,
Cray
it is.
story.
It is. It's again like, there of course there are stories like we have seen people standing behind us, or we have seen apparition in the mirror, but actually there was nobody there. We have heard toilet flushes, shower running on its own. We have heard knocking on the door and things like this. This is something that is, I'm not going to say it's a common thing, but it's a story that we have heard a lot of time, right?
Yeah.
But when a particular story involves whereby it's talking about people's life, there are people who get hurt or lost their
Very
life
badly.
in that particular story. Shit, it just give a different kind of. I won't say it's not even creepy anymore. It's really actually it's just scary. It's downright scary.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay, so Joe, Well, what do you want to do next? Because actually, you just told me that there is actually a part 2, but should we
There's
do
a
the
part two, yep.
or should we do the TikTok?
Look, I reckon because there are some people who just hate waiting for for videos to come up. And again, we never know when we're gonna do the next kind of like session. So I reckon let's just watch this. If we have time for a TikTok, we will. But maybe we might have to forego the TikToks for this particular video.
Okay.
But speaking of seeing someone standing in front of you or in front of the mirror, playing the story right now.
Well, as you all have heard before, Joe told you about me working in telecoms. Yes, I worked in Yio Chu Kang Telecoms from 1970 until we migrated to Perth in 1992. And I was a senior telecoms operator. It's a nice place to work, but it's also very frightening if you have to do the night duty. There are many occasions when things did happen, not to me alone, but to my colleagues as well. When we were in the old building, which we were using until, if I'm not wrong, until 1988 when we shifted to the new building, the circular one that you all can see now. The old building has got the right and left wing. The center wing belongs to the technical side. The left wing is where the operational side is, and the right wing is where the restrooms are, the two restrooms. When I first started working, I used to work only 2 shifts, morning and afternoon. So in the morning, it's quite all right, as you say, everything is fine. But when it is twilight, I should say, that's when things happen. And I remember the first time when I experienced something not right. Everybody has got a time to go for their tea break, our lunch or dinner break, I should say. This time, I was being relieved to go for my break around 6:30 in the evening. And there's only about 14 or 10, I cannot remember the amount of people. I think about maybe 12 people or 14 people. And we take turns to go for break. At that time, I was the only one that went for break at 6:30. So, as usual, the restroom is accompanied by the toilet. Now, the toilet, there's 6 cubicles, 3 on the right, left, 3 on the right. So, usually I'll go to the left. Once I reach the door to the toilet, I will turn left and wash my dishes and all that, and then come out. After finishing dinner, so it's around 6:45 that I went to the toilet. And the toilet window is always open, so you can say that we can get good smell, but we don't, because we are so close to the pig's farm in Yio Chu Kang, in Jalan Kayu, that we get that smell. But on that day when I was washing, all of a sudden I have the whiff of lovely cempaka flower smell. And for a while, that stunned me. And after that, you don't feel very good. So I quickly washed up and went off to the office. Although I still have got about 5 minutes left. And that was the first time I experienced that kind of thing. The other thing that happened to me, and I know it did, is, as Joe had told you all, when I went to the toilet around 8 in the evening, I was going home early that evening, 1 hour early, and my husband, then boyfriend, was waiting for me outside. And as I was going to the toilet, and as usual, I go to the left-hand side, I saw my friend standing on the right-hand side. Now this girl, she's a good friend of mine, and her hair is not that tidy every time. It's always, she's got curly hair, so it's not tidy or straight. As usually girls, when you got curly hair, it's all over the place. So that day when I saw her, I said, Vas, the hair looks so neat and nice. And I remembered looking at her calf, and she was wearing a grey skirt and a batik kind of blouse. Until today, it's so vivid in my mind. So I said, hi, Vas. And I went to do my business and all that. And I came back, I still saw her standing there, but it doesn't bother me because I was waiting for my boyfriend then outside. As I was walking towards the bus stop, I saw this lady whom I thought I saw in the bathroom coming to work. I was so shocked. I said, Vas, I just saw you and said hi to you. You just came? And she told me, what rubbish you're talking? I'm just coming to work. And she was wearing a black pair of pants and a t-shirt. So I said, I saw you in that grey skirt. She said, are you dreaming? I said, tomorrow morning I'm going to work early. Although I start at 7, I went early. 6 o'clock I was at work to see who was on night duty and to see whether anybody that did the night duty has got this outfit on. And I knew who and who was on, but nobody was there. Then after that, I tried to recollect, who did I see? Then I realized I did not see her feet, and I did not see her reflection from the mirror. Then only I realized I saw something more than what it is supposed to be. Once when I was doing night duty, then later on, when somebody's on leave, I have to take over and do night on and off, doing the relief work. One night I was having the rest. We have 2 rest periods at that time because we work for 12 hours, 12 to 3, and then 3:30 to 7. That's our rest period. So they take turns to do. But in the beginning, when we were working in Yio Chu Kang, there are very few girls working night shift, or very few girls were being employed. Most of them are men. So the most that did night duty in the evening, girls are about 2 or 3. So there are times when you go for rest, you're the only girl. And as I said, the office is in such a way that you're far away from the main office. The restroom is on the other wing, the other side of the office. So you're all by yourself. So one night when I was having my rest, I remembered I heard somebody banging onto the lockers, because we have lockers in our restroom. So each one of us has a locker. And I hear this banging from one locker to the next, although I was the only girl doing night duty that night. And I can hear like people walking into the toilet and all that. And I know that my male colleagues will not do that to me. They are all very respectful people, and they were not frightened, especially when they know that you're the only girl on duty. And they are very nice about it. So, but I did experience this noise, and they could hear it too. So they also experience this kind of thing. If they sleep in certain place, in the restroom, in the sofa, they'll be woken up or being strangled, that kind of, or blankets being pulled away from them. But many of them are not frightened, I should say, men being men. They just take it with a pinch of salt. But I'm very frightened, honestly, yes, when that thing happened. So I used to always hold on to my rosary when I go to sleep at night to have the rest. And I would not open my eyes, no matter what, until I get a phone call from the office. That means time for me to get up, to get ready for the next people to come in to rest. So I used to do that. It's not made up or anything like that, especially the one when you say about chattering of the teeth, because it's so clearly until today, and that's how many, 30-odd years, 40 years ago. I can still remember I was resting in the new building, the circular building, and I was doing night duty. So 3 of us were sleeping, resting in a restroom, which is again away from where we work, because that's how it is. And I remembered I was resting on the floor. It's a carpet floor. And my friend was my friend was on the couch. And another lady was on the other side. So there's no one next to me, So I remembered a chattering of this thing on my ear. So I turned over this side. Again, the chattering of that teeth. And it was so clear. And then when I woke up, so I asked my friend, do you hear anything or not? I said, yeah, there's 3 of them. Oh. 3 kakak, yeah. Now one is going around collecting things. I don't know what things he was telling me. He says the other one was looking at us. and another one was just floating around. They could see, see? We could see. Because that place, and once when I was sitting down and having a drink outside my working place, and I was just remembered sitting outside the main building where it's, with the cart, and next to it is the lift. How many times, 2 o'clock in the morning, when you're having just a drink, nobody in the office, nobody is working, the lift will go up, open, close, go down, open, close, go down again, many times. So you can say it's technical fault. Well, it can be, but it might be also supernatural, because that whole place has got so much of things going on. And also, they have called the Chinese Taoists, the Muslim Imam, the Buddhist people, and a priest, and I don't know who are the Hindu and all that, to go and have it exorcised, So if there's nothing wrong with the building, you think they will have all these people coming to have it done?
You were there when they were doing this?
Yes, yes. So you ask.
Complaints.
Yeah, must be the technical side, because you have got so many floors. And then there are times when you do night duty in the middle of the night, the alarm will go on downstairs, below, basement, and we have to go and check. Just imagine. So what do you think? So these are things that happen, is it? So we have these sort of things in Yio Chu Kang. Definitely. You ask anybody that works in Yio Chu Kang, they will tell you. Really, somebody will sure experience something. But what to do? You have to earn a living, you have to go to work, whether you like it or not, you go. But prepare yourself. Bring your rosary, and just have to be strong to go and work there. Another time was when I was expecting my second boy. That I was expecting Gabriel. And I was on afternoon duty, and I finished at 9. Daddy used to park the car right inside so that I don't have to walk, because I used to be very sick. And he used to park the car right in the center of the building, so it's very quiet. So whenever we come out, we make sure that we come out together in a group. Although the rest of the girls has all gone home that day. I remembered, because Daddy parked the car inside, so the girls were all walking out already. Nobody was there except for those on the night duty. I heard from the Muslim prayer room. There's one room, prayer room, outside there. I heard Rose calling me, and then whistling at me, whistling. So I felt I don't feel that good. So I just didn't want to say anything. I went into the car, and Daddy drove us home.
Was it your name, or was it like a bird going?
No, Rose. No, it's Rose, because they call me Rose. You see, yeah. Because you see, this place was actually during the Japanese occupation. That area, a lot of Japanese were being buried there, because a lot of fighting was going on there. And even until today, I think, they still have 2 graves. They have not exhumed the body, because many people have tried when they wanted to do the new building, and they couldn't do it because things happen. So the security guard, we used to have 2 security guards at night, and they used to tell some of the male staff that they used to see a lady walking at night with a baby, and they say that it's so common to them that they just, for them it's a norm. She just let her go and come back. When she feels like walking, she will walk, not really right in front of them, but they could see her sliding away and then sliding back, not walking, floating. That is what I was told by the security. Whether it's true or not, that's another thing. You have to take it. Yeah.
And what made them think it was a ghost?
Who wants to go there in the middle of the night with a baby? Tell me. And there's nothing there. It's a quiet. The whole area that Yio Chu Kang, where I work, is so desolated. Nobody is there at night. There's only aerials. And then there's, I think, some houses, atap houses, I remembered on the right-hand side those days. But they have, then later on, they've got the Seletar, I think, some housing estate in front of them. But prior to that, in the 70s, it's totally nothing. You've got durian trees all around us. So it's completely quiet, yes. That area in the 70s is really, really cool. See, so who wants to carry a baby and walk around in the middle of the night? You ask yourself this. Thank you everyone for listening to this old lady. I hope you all will be enlightened by what I said. And yes, take everything with a pinch of salt, but I'm telling you, whatever I saw and hear is nothing but the truth as far as I'm concerned. Thank you, and God bless each and every one of you. Bye. And this slide is so irritating.
And that moment when your mother scolds you on a video on YouTube,
So,
and you forget all about it.
Who go to the place with a baby? There's nothing there,
Yeah,
okay?
right.
All around is durian tree only. Who want to
Yeah.
go there with a baby in the middle of the night? Huh? You ask yourself, Joe, stupid.
Yeah, something like that. I asked my mother, come tell ghost story, kena scolding. This is yeah.
Okay. A lot of things that pop up in my head, but let's go, huh? Let's go bit by bit. Okay. So one thing is, I wanted to ask. I think a lot of Singaporean listeners now can tell us how is Yio Chu Kang today? What is it? How is it? Is it a very busy area already? Because I mean, obviously Singapore, right? It's a very busy nation, and everywhere you go, it's almost everywhere it's tall buildings. So it's
I don't know, man. Like I'm just bringing it up on a Google, and they're like, well, Singapore, they're flats, but I also think there's probably parts of it that are quite rural. I think I don't know.
Yeah, but
so if you're in the live comments, they can tell us.
Yeah, okay. So tell us, and whether the telecom building, is it still the same telecom building that is there?
It's still there.
Oh, it's still there. Oh,
It's still there.
Okay. Oh, sorry,
It's still there. I remember when it was a small little building, and a small little kind of like a one story building right at the far end, and then I also remember when they started renovating it into this huge freaking, at that time, what looked like a just futuristic kind of building as well.
Yeah.
But it's surrounded by a lot of fields where they have like antennas for the ships. So my mom was a Morse code operator. So she would talk to the ships via Morse code, and then they'll send messages back and forth and stuff like that.
Okay.
So they had a lot of like there was a lot of space. But I also remember that place from a very young age. The amount of stories my mom used to tell about the Yio Chu Kang Telecoms was
because the
nuts.
thing is, I do not know whether it is actually, is it really just telecom buildings, or is it okay? Why do I say this? Is because in Kuching, no need to mention then, if you are in Kuching, you know exactly where this building is. So it's also a telecom building, but next to the telecom building, there's a graveyard, right? There's a very old graveyard, So very near to that area as well, they used to have this Japanese camp. Not really Japanese camp, but it's more to like a torture camp, very near to that telecom building.
Oh yeah, okay.
Back in the Japanese occupation time, So I used to have this part-time lecturer. She works with the telecom, right? She say whenever it's like your mother, whenever it's during odd hours. But she say it's always the pantry will have something weird. So like, let's say you are alone in the pantry, the microwave will start on its own.
Oh no!
And then the water boiler will just like as if somebody just
Turn
press
on by
it,
itself.
turn on by itself. But she said these are the two things that I remember lah. But she said I do not know whether is it because of the graveyard that is nearby, or is it because of the old Japanese camp that is also nearby. But the thing is, why is it always telecom camp? Is it because of all this frequency transmission?
I'm wondering.
Somehow...
Yeah, I'm wondering.
Right.
I'm wondering if it's because like you have these towers and they're attracting not attracting, but they're picking up all these signals, and there's as you said, there's frequencies going about.
Yeah.
I don't know the science behind it. Or could it be that these frequencies are interacting with the human brain in such a way that people believe that they're experiencing something paranormal.
Okay. That is a nice explanation. It could be as well, right? Because you work in a place that is, frequency it's so high, and obviously it's more, what do you say, more condensed than other place. So
Yeah.
probably it affects your brain, and probably you hear and you see things differently when you are in that area.
Yeah, but I don't think it debunks it, because if a
Yeah,
bunch of people
definitely
are
not.
all experiencing the same kind of things, right?
Yeah.
Similar, it suggests there's a commonality to the experience,
Yeah.
which suggests again that there's something else down there. But
Yeah.
my favorite story of all that, and that's the story I think I will forever remember my mom telling, was the story about her friend in the toilet.
Yeah. Vast.
How, yeah, her name is Vasigi. I'm an Indian girl, and uh, my mom's told it so many times that I almost have a memory of it happening. Like I can
As if
almost
you were
see
there.
mom walking. Yeah, as if I was there. I almost have that memory. But can you imagine, man, just walking past, saying hi to your friend, and then afterwards going out and going, "Fuck, she had no feet and no reflection on the freaking mirror."
Yeah.
Screw that, man.
Yeah, man.
But
and then
yeah,
you see the
that
actual
place-
vase that was.
yeah.
What
Yeah,
rubbish
bus
talking
coming out
about?
the other way. Oh, you. But mom once used to tell me, right, that they used to get, the girls always used to get disturbed by spiritual entities more so than the men. And what she said, it's always the Malay girls.
That cannot more.
Always Kanamo, and it's always about the Pontianak. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not meant to say the P word. I meant to say Chikpon, Miss
Kakak.
P, Kakak, Pontianak, Pontianak.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah. Can you remember that time when I was in Kuching and we were walking down that road and I was like, "Hey, this place got Pontianak, ah?" And you were like, "Fuck, shut up, Joe. Just keep your mouth shut."
Yeah, man. Hi, people just died here like 2 weeks ago, and we are walking in the middle of the night, and like, hey, isn't this Pontianak place? In the middle of all trees and shit, man. Cannot bring this boy anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay,
But which
so-
story? Which of the stories like kind of popped up in your mind more?
Okay, and another thing that I wanted to link it together is, I don't think we are playing the TikTok videos, but
No, I don't think we
let's
are.
let's go with more stories. I kind of actually like the fact that I think we have also talked about this before. Being poor is actually a lot scarier than meeting the ghost, lah. Huh? So that's why your mom said,
That's true.
what you gonna do? You just have to go and work, lah, because you have to earn your
Just
living,
work.
right? It's Somebody said that in a
No
way.
rice? Yeah, no rice or not scared. I better I need rice lah.
Yeah, better need rice lah. See, ghost,
Rice,
no choice lah. Say prayer lah, huh? So bring your rosary beads lah. Say prayers lah, huh? Then after that, go to work lah. So being poor is really something is a lot more scarier than a lot of things, huh? But somehow this actually kind of like link back to things that happened just recently lah. So okay, again, for those who are new to the channel, I am somebody that is in the event industry. So what happened recently was we had something called a night at a museum, and it's a musical. So this happened at
Right.
the big museum that we have, the new museum that we have, okay? This is a new building, a new museum, and we are very proud of this museum, right? But the moment the museum opened, we have already heard about stories in the museum,
Stories.
right? We have heard stories whereby lights switch on and off by itself. Security guards would hear people walking in the museum in the middle of the night when the museum is closed, and all these stories lah. But of course, we were like, oh, of course lah, people are gonna come up with these kinds of stories because it's a
Yeah.
big and whatnot. All right. So to be honest with you, I love stories like this, right? So you would think that Kim, if in the middle of the night, probably he would have a lot of stories. Throughout my now coming to 13 years in event line, okay? I've worked countless hours in the middle of the night. Sometimes our work starts 10 p.m. and we would finish like 5,
Whoa.
6 in the morning, right? So
Are you
because
serious?
yeah, because our setting up time is on, like, for example, when you go to a mall, when you see a nice setup happen, right? And you're like, hey, last night I was just here. The thing wasn't here. So when do
Because
you
Kim
think
was down there, lah.
when do you think the people do it? It was after
Yeah.
the mall closes. That is when people move in and do work, right? So that happens to a lot. So it's same thing happened to this particular museum as well. So when they were setting up for the musical, it was the work only starts 8 p.m. onwards, right? Until wee hours, and until they are done, then they move on to the next day. Because they cannot operate, they cannot do the setup when people are still walking around in the museum and there's still visitors, right? So museum have to open, right? So they only do works at night. So now there are a bunch of people in the same industry. Okay, like I say, 12, 13 years in the line. I've worked tons of wee hours. I've never experienced anything weird myself. I have slept in a lot of malls. I have slept in a lot of convention centers. I've slept in a lot of hotel lobby. I've
Strange
never
beds?
encountered strange bed, but not strangers bed. I've never met anything weird. Okay, could be because you are too focused working, right? You are too busy working, so you were not paying attention to a lot of things that around you. You know, so that also when you work like this kind of hours, and I'm a person who have to go to toilet a lot. I would just go to toilet, but nothing weird ever happened to me, right? Until this one particular event. Okay, I'm not there, but this is all event people that I have worked with and, close to. They say in the fucking museum, right? They have seen one particular lady dressed in red just standing around looking at them doing work. Again, if you're like, oh, could be the people in the museum, I will go Auntie Rose. In the middle of the night, which girl want to go museum in the middle of the night? Huh? You ask
Stupid.
yourself. Stupid. So, right, so not only one person saw this one particular lady. There are a lot of people actually saw this lady just standing around and looking at them working, right? So some of them were like, okay, I think that is not of our world, but she did not do anything. She's just there, right? So let's not do anything to her as well. So until the day itself, until the day before the event, right? So they are doing a final check for sound, right? So after the rehearsal was done, so they were just still tuning the microphone and whatnot, So the sound engineer actually say, this is already in the middle of the night. The sound engineer say he heard what sounded like a lady singing when there was nothing else. There was nobody else around. So he was like, I'm not sure what was that, but he clearly heard a lady singing when they were doing the final check. And
What
comes
song?
to he didn't say what song though. But when it comes to event day itself, the guest of honor for this event is actually our premier. So premier is like a chief minister, right? So somebody of a very high ranking in the government line, right? So when there is such a big gun in your event, your suppliers have to provide the top-notch quality equipment, right? So your microphone is not supposed to fucked up because you have a big gun in your lineup, right? The thing is, again, this suppliers or this team has worked tons of events like this, and nothing has ever gone wrong as bad as this. The speech before the chief minister, everything was fine. When the chief minister starts speaking, the whole 2 minutes, I think, 3 minutes, the microphone just went off.
Are you serious?
Yeah, there was no sound at all. And another sound guy that was also working together, when he reached the area, laptop couldn't turn on. And when he go back home, laptop works just fine.
Burn everything.
Yeah. So we go back to... we have to work lah, What can we do? We have to earn a living. So we have to work. Yeah.
But okay, is this particular? I don't know how much you can say because of where you live, but is this particular minister a very controversial figure? Are there some policies that? No, it's just like a politician.
Actually, he is one of the very, I would say visionary lah. He's a very visionary politician. I would say, I'm not saying that he is, the best ever, but I'm saying that he did work lah. He did his work, and then he has plans for the state which put everybody in rather a good position lah, right? So not a very particular dirty type of politician, but I just
a
don't
good
know what
one.
went wrong. Yeah. But I just don't know what went wrong.
Jeez, man.
So
That is absolute crazy.
yeah.
I
And
can't
then
even-
after that event, after the musical, the next one was our event, the one that we did the setup. So
Yep.
some of the organizer came and like, hey, you guys are better don't fucked up like the night at the museum.
The other guys,
because,
yeah.
the microphone went off. We're like, yeah lah, this area was okay lah. Not at the museum lah. We cannot.
We know
cannot
why.
guarantee
lah.
lah.
We know why. lah. And
So,
okay, so you know how with from what I've heard in some of the theaters in Singapore, or some of the work sites in Singapore, before they do stuff or events, right? They pray and they come, they set an altar up somewhere. Is that something that happens in Kuching?
Not really, but usually we will say our own prayers because we are of different faith, am I right? So I mean, again, it's Malaysia, so if we have Malay colleagues, then he or she will just do the solat. If Christians, we just say our own prayers. We are practically just wishing well that nothing goes wrong lah. It's just
just a personal prayer. Just look after me, but nothing formalized.
Yeah. So not like putting up a ritual whereby we do offerings or we call a Catholic priest to come over. No lah, not to that lah.
Yeah. No. Is this mall near where you live?
The mall? Oh, the museum?
That area, the museum. Is it the one that we've been to?
Yeah, the one that you've been to.
Oh, that's the one.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I remember us talking about that. Holy smokes! I think that next time I'm down, we're gonna have to go visit again.
And you try to hide in one corner, and then until the night time lah, then you just stay inside there lah.
Can do that. No worries. I'll do that. I'll be there with my torch. Yeah, but I have to ask my boss first whether I can go. Even though I am the alpha male in this relationship, I gotta ask my boss if he will come down with my wife. I have to.
You are the head of the family lah, but she's the neck lah.
She's
When
the
she
neck.
tell you where to go.
Yeah. Wife's call, mother's call online somehow. Ayo. This time,
Okay.
all for your listening pleasure, guys. All for your listening pleasure.
Okay lah. So thank you again, Auntie Rose, for telling us such wonderful stories lah. That feeling lah. I actually really like that feeling lah. You like listening to your actual auntie or your mom telling you this kind of story, and then you when you ask stupid question, then you you kena.
And then you get into trouble.
Yeah.
That's me lah. That's me.
Yeah.
What to do? What to do? Everyone scolds me.
Yeah.
All right,
lah.
guys. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I've had a blast. It was great listening to my mom's stories again. So perhaps next, I'll see if my mom's got more. But I really want to get my dad to tell his stories. But my dad just doesn't want to come online. He's like, no, I'm not doing it. I said, come on, Dad, just once. Do this for your granddaughter.
If not, you try to record voice lah.
I'll try.
You just use your phone and then you just set it there and then put it there, and then after that you just, hey Dad, remember that time when you're telling me this story? Then he start and then use that voice clip saja lah.
You got to do it like very on the fly. You'd be like, yeah. So Dad,
No need lah.
remember that time when you told that story? Remember that time, Dad? I think I'm just tired and I'm just talking shit right now. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for listening to my mom's stories, and thank you, Kim, for some of those wonderful stories that have just come out of the blue. Like I don't know, where do you hide all these stories, man? Like every time I talk to you, you say, oh yeah, and there's another story. This happened 4 years. Oh, geez, where is he hide this stuff?
Isn't it good? Isn't that's why we are doing this?
Next time I come down for theme park, we tell me more stories, okay?
Okay.
All right, bro. Before we go, joke. Everyone's listening for you, waiting for your joke.
Yeah. Well, before that, thank you very much. Thank you to Auntie Rose. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe, for putting up the editing work and whatnot again, and MVP for this time around, Thank you everybody for listening in. Thank you for those who put in comments, watching us. Thank you for those who bought us coffee. So again, if you want to tell a story, you can reach out. Our email is down there. If you want to support us, you can always buy us coffee, but it's not necessary. But you can check out the website underneath as well. But we would appreciate it if you could tell us more story of your story. Either online, interview, or voice, or just writing on email. Then we, either Joe or myself, we narrate it. Yeah, all works as well. So once again, thank you very much. Without you guys' support, we wouldn't even reach 100 subscribers right now. We are almost 500. So thank you very much. So the joke for tonight is: do you know why fat people don't like to get comments about their weights? Say why.
Because the okay, say why bro, why?
Because they like everything sugar coated.
Oh,
it's good, right? It's good. Right?
I was gonna say because maybe they can't take the weight of the criticism or something like that. Mine must have been quite intellectual. She said,
mine not intellectual.
Who wants to go there? Huh? You tell me. You tell me. Stupid.
Yeah, okay lah. Thank you very much. Until the next episode lah. So I'm Kim. Seen or unseen, when the lights out, they are there with you. Bye bye. Go to Joe.
And my name is Joe. And just like that museum wherein that lady in red has been seen, next time I'm there, burn it. Just burn it out. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Have a good night. Lights out.